Welcome to Coleman Report Live. I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking Main Street and the small business lenders who help it grow. This is an all Coleman show. Joseph Coleman, I don't think you and I have ever done it together, have we?
Well, hi, Dad. I think we did one last year, but it's been a while. Yeah, you're right.
So how is it working for your old man?
I'm glad to be here. I love it.
How long have you been with Coleman Report?
2007. So
where'd you graduate from?
CU Boulder, history degree. So glad to be here.
All right, that's a little family insight. It's great. It's great when you work with your kids. It's great for the dad or the mom. I don't know about the daughter or the son at times, but because Joseph says, "Dad, you're not being fair," and I said, "Read your contract." I don't have to be fair. All right. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. There's a lot of news. Let's get into it. 1, do you plan on guiding your borrowers through the restaurant revitalization grant application funding special loan? I don't know what we call it, but there's a lot of news on it. And yes, no. About half and half good. There's not much on that. Basically, Joseph, what? They go to a website?
Correct. Yeah. So the guidance came out Saturday, and we were going through it, and we're going to have some detailed analysis later this week, but we just wanted to give you guys the guidelines. So they clarified what the rules are, and you can take a look at that. I've attached it. You can help your borrowers. I know they're going to have a ton of questions. And John Winnick said last Friday that the demand is going to be 3x or 4x of what has been allocated.
Okay, let's ask this question next, and then I want to know what John said. I wasn't here, obviously. Number 2, restaurant revitalization grant applications can start today. Give us a week, May 1st, or the first week of May. What's the story, Joseph?
We don't have a date yet, but the guidance has come out, and we're going to be following that. So I'm assuming it's going to be the first week of May. That's what. What
are the steps? There's a 7-day testing period. What are they saying?
Yeah, so there's a waiting period, and then there's a 21-day period just for certain groups of people that can get that. So. We will again have the exact time frames once they're set in stone, but as of now, we just have the guidelines. So
this is what we think is going to happen. Real quick, what did John Winnick say about this program on Friday?
He said there's a huge demand. This is going to go very fast. So 28.6 billion has been allocated, and he's saying that the demand is 3 or 4 times that. So for this first round. He's saying to be ready as it's going to go quick. That's what his estimate is.
We do have the notice that came out on Saturday that is in your handouts. If you want to download that, it is. You can Google it, and that is available, and you can read that. We have it. Is the portal's open today? But what's going on with that?
Yeah, I haven't checked, and I'm not gonna guess it if it's open or not. But I know that they sent out a bunch of stuff on Saturday, and the application is attached as well as the guidelines. It's a 7-page.
Well, I think the takeaway, what we're saying is move quickly. Tell your borrowers to get in early. Smarter people than us are predicting that this is going to go fast. So. That's the best thing you can do for your borrower. Number 3, PPP unforgiven debt must be included in your SBA 7A and 504 cash flow analysis. Interesting question. I will answer this, and the answer is no. It doesn't address it. SOP doesn't address it. It needs to be addressed, and this is where I'm probably getting a little tricky, Joseph. The unforgiven debt analysis must be addressed. It is not mandated that the payments have to come out of that. If you have a fairly high level of confidence that is going to be forgiven, that we have all the documentation that's there, I would certainly do both types of analysis or cash flow analysis. but you can allow it not to be there. So we're going to go over this in depth next Tuesday on global cash flow analysis and all the COVID requirements on that. But we need to know the debt. We certainly need to know it's much more complicated with 11, 12 payments and everything else on that. So as things continue to get more complicated, it becomes more interesting, Joseph.
Yeah, and Lance says if the SOP doesn't say it, although it is a very prudent thing to do to include, so in your analysis, Lance would agree with
Number
you.
4, SBA has solved their technical issues with the Shuttered Grant Operators Venue Program, and it is open today. Yeah,
this is coming out to be false. Yeah, everybody said false is correct. It's still being worked on. However, they said they have made some progress getting that open again.
And they said they wanted it open this week and solve their problems. I don't know what the problems are other than that. Did John address the supply and demand of this program? Have we had anybody address that?
I don't think they talked about this much. Katie just gave a quick update saying that the issues were being fixed, and this week it should be back up and running. But John didn't mention the demand for this now.
I mean, this is we're well into a year now of these venues being closed. Hollywood Icon ArcLight is closing. Hopefully someone will step up. Beautiful place to go see movies. And I'm sure that's all throughout the country. Hey, Joseph, give us an update on PPP specifically. How much money we got left?
We calculated to we've used 84% of the funds, and we have about $46 billion left. Total is up to 240 in 2021 with 4,700,000 loans. So we're getting close. I think we're going to be right on the money for May 1st. May 31st is going to be plenty of time for the remaining 46 billion. But we'll see if it does run out. We're tracking this, and it's going steadily up. So,
do we know we heard about 170,000 loan applications in the Ether and hold codes. Do we know what the value of those loans are, Joseph?
No, they weren't listed. Just this summary report was what we had Katie do. So I would I'm not going to guess. I don't know. So
and we don't know. But the bottom line is there's how much money left in PPP second draw loans or PPP total?
45, 46 billion around there. So
billion
with
a B. I mean, those are still astronomical numbers. It's only $45 billion. You're talking about a program that was doing $30 billion a year total. So that's interesting. If we didn't have time to put it up, it's interesting. Yahoo came out, or Finance came out, saying that the pandemic has destroyed fewer businesses than feared. A Fed study shows this just came out. So we'll go ahead and pull that up. It said fewer than 200,000 businesses may have failed during the pandemic, a lighter toll than initially feared, and one that may have relatively little impact on unemployment. And the Fed credited greatly what the work you're doing out there in getting money out to Main Street, and said earlier research had anticipated that up to 400,000 small firms would go dark. So PPP has made a positive impact for entrepreneurs, for the employees of the entrepreneurs, for Main Street, for the economy. So don't get caught up in all these fraud stories. They need to be addressed, but let's focus on what the good work is that we're doing. Okay, so tell us more about restaurant revitalization, Joseph.
Again, the guidance came out, and it's the 7-page guidelines, and we will be covering it more extensively. It has all these bullet points listed and really broken out. So 28.6 billion, and we're guessing first week of May or so, and again, that demand is going to be very high and quick. So check out the guidelines, and we will stay up to date dates and websites and portals and stuff.
Joseph, I do know they're going to roll this out. Do we know who are the first?
They are targeting underserved communities, women-owned businesses, and that is going to be a 21-day period, and then they will be open to the rest of the restaurants that are trying to get that. But there is going to be some priority lines set.
Let's see, it's $5 billion set aside for very small restaurants. When can they apply for those? Is that going to be in the first 21 days or after 21 days?
I'm not quite sure. It just depends on the owners, underserved communities, locations like that. So
yeah, obviously the big boys, the big grants that who are sophisticated and they're ready to get their apps online, $10 million per entity, $5 million per physical location. So you're talking huge numbers that could quickly eat up that. I guess the question is that a good or bad thing? Look, an employee is an employee. Mm-hmm. So we all drive around our neighborhoods, our footprints, and we see long time venues and people we know who just thrown up their hands and said, "Hey, I can't do this anymore. It's not working out."
They did clarify. I wanted to mention that they clarified if you were involved in any sort of bankruptcy of Chapter 7 or 11 or 13, or if you permanently close, then you are ineligible. So they clarified that in the guidance.
Yeah. Here's the first 21 days operated by women, veterans, socially and economically disadvantaged individuals as defined in the Small Business Act. That includes both footprint. So if you're in an economically disadvantaged footprint, that counts, as well as individuals, and they'll receive the priority on that. Grants can be used for basically anything as it relates to the business. And again, this is funded directly through SBA. The lender is not involved. We probably should have said that right up in the front. How the lender gets involved in the SBDCs is to, what I would do is I would counsel my people, get over to an SBDC. You have some experts there who are.
If you look at the poll results, the 32% said they are going to help their borrowers with our poll this morning. So that is a big number of you.
Read the notice and impress upon them whatever documentation they need to get together. And I confess, I don't know what that is yet. We haven't seen the portal do that. Let's see. What do we got with shuttered venues, Joseph?
Again, they're planning on releasing it this week, opening it back up. They've identified the issues. I think they hired out and got that fixed. So that'll be up and running. Hopefully this week we'll get you an update on the exact open date.
Very good. Franchise directory training hosted by SBA. Stephen O'Lear, the Chief Franchise Counsel out of Sacramento, is the expert on this. Stephen, I hope this gets back to you. You do a great job. I haven't seen you in years. I haven't seen anybody in years. I think we're all on the same boat. But take advantage of this. It's obviously free. It's through, check with your district office in terms of how to get a hold of that. And he's going to focus on a very specific thing, which is how to get a new franchise listed on the directory. We know as lenders, as long as it's listed, fine, we're good to go. But there is a process to do that. And if you're in that situation or you anticipate being in a situation, take advantage of that training with SBA. Katie, article today, Main Street Monday. We're having issues working with finding qualified workers, Joseph.
Yeah, and John and Katie talked about this on Friday a little bit, how it is difficult to staff. Small businesses are finding it very difficult to find qualified workers right now. And I think as people get vaccinated and going throughout the summer, it'll loosen up a little bit. But I mean, 91% found no qualified applicants. So that's a big number that jumps out.
That is not in your COVID analysis checklist. I would certainly add that as an underwriter. In terms of his underwriting, we want to know, we're worried about supply chain. Can we get the stuff, what it's going to cost us? And now we're worried about employees. Are we able to staff appropriately for that? Maybe an interesting question that you want to start addressing with your people. Let's see. We have Andrea. This came in on the answer desk. I don't have a quick answer. I got to do a little research on this, but I wanted to post it. Joseph, I doubt you know the answer, would you?
No, I'm sorry.
Give me our expert Lance isn't here to to bail us out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to, right after we sign off, I'm going to do a little research on this, and I will post the answer, Andrea. So thank you very much for the question. Joseph, we got our reports. Tell us real quick. You were instrumental in putting this together. How many pages is this report?
Both 70 and 504. It's over 500 pages of data analysis. We list every franchise and do a 10-year analysis as well as a 8-year analysis. We broke that out, so we did not include the Great Recession. So we did a report on what it looks like during the good times. And then for the NAICS codes, we did every industry as well. So if you want a sample, just send me an email, and I'll be happy to send you some data samples.
Yeah, absolutely. Compensation will be released this week, our survey. Let's see. I'm going to do the cash flow analysis tomorrow. We are going to we decided to update on everything next Wednesday. COVID, PPP, all the grant programs. We're just going to do a nice summary of everything, and we'll do that on next day. And Lance will do his. We haven't done document injection of more. So Lance one with our information. And the takeaway on that equity injection is the probably biggest change or biggest factor that you need to consider in terms of differences between SBA lending and conventional lending. Joseph, good job. But you look, boy, you dress up well. Look at that. You clean up well.
Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, thank you all for joining us today for Coleman Report Live and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.
Thank you very much, guys. See you next time.